In northeastern China, there are villages where the language spoken at home is not the same as the language used outside. Signs appear in two scripts, schools teach in two systems, and families live between two expectations. For the Korean Chinese community, identity is not a fixed position. It is something negotiated across language, place, and opportunity. Today, the question many young people face is simple but difficult. Do you stay or do you leave? The Korean Chinese, also known as Chaoshenzu, are an ethnic minority living mainly in northeastern China, especially in Jilin province. Their history is closely connected to migration, agriculture, and cross-border culture. Traditionally, Korean Chinese communities developed around farming, particularly rice cultivation. Villages were organized around cooperative labor, irrigation systems, and seasonal production. Education has always been highly valued. Schools often use both Korean and Chinese languages, creating a bilingual system that shapes identity from an early age. This combination of agriculture and education created a stable community structure. However, changes in the broader economy have altered this balance. As urban opportunities increased, many younger people began to leave rural areas in search of better income and mobility. Historically, the Korean Chinese economy was land-based. Rice farming required coordination, managing water, labor, and timing. Communities worked together to maintain irrigation systems and ensure stable production. This created a strong local system. People stayed in place. Skills were tied to land. Social networks were built around shared work. However, as economic conditions changed, the value of staying decreased relative to leaving. Urban jobs offered higher income and more flexibility. This shift changed how decisions were made. Instead of asking how to manage land more effectively, families began asking whether to continue farming at all. The result is a transition from a place-based system to a mobility-based system. This transition is not immediate. It happens gradually, as younger generations move, while older generations remain. For older generations, stability remains a central value. Elders often emphasize the reliability of agriculture. Even if income is lower, it is predictable. Land provides a form of security that is not dependent on external systems. They also view community as an important resource. Living near family allows for mutual support and shared responsibility. From their perspective, the concern is not only economic change, but social change. As more people leave, villages become less connected. Shared systems weaken. What elders try to maintain is continuity, not only of culture, but of structure. Ji-ho is a Korean Chinese man in his mid-20s. He grew up in a rural village where his family worked in agriculture. As a child, Ji-ho attended a bilingual school. He learned both Korean and Chinese, preparing him for opportunities beyond the village. After graduating, Ji-ho moved to a city for work. There, he found higher income and more options, but also greater competition and less stability. Over time, Ji-ho developed a different perspective. He began to consider not only income, but also long-term quality of life. Recently, he started exploring ways to reconnect with his hometown. He is not planning to return fully, but he is considering part-time involvement in local projects, combining remote work with occasional stays in the village. For Ji-ho, the choice is no longer binary. It is not simply staying or leaving. It is finding a way to move between both. Population movement has become a defining feature of Korean Chinese communities. As younger people leave, local economies change. Labor shortages affect agriculture. Schools and services adapt to smaller populations. At the same time, mobility creates new opportunities. Income from outside can support families who remain. Skills learned in cities can be brought back to local communities. This creates a hybrid system, part local, part mobile. In this context, identity becomes more complex. It is no longer tied only to place, but also to movement. Culture, therefore, must adapt. It continues to exist, but in different forms and locations. For the Korean Chinese, the question is no longer just where home is, it is how to carry it, whether you stay or whether you leave.